welcome to the Backyard Professor videos. I've been doing some response videos to other videos, but tonight what I want to do is a little bit different. I'm not going to make a very long video tonight, but I'm very excited with some new information that I have that I'm going to share with you on a new book that has been produced by one of my all-time favorite authors, Dennis R. MacDonald, who is now retired. He is a classicist and a New Testament scholar, and his new book, I just received this the other day. I had Dennis on last week or 2 weeks ago, and we were talking about this book coming out. Synopses of Epic, Tragedy, and the Gospels, 3 volumes in one. It is a magnificent reference tool. Now, my dear friend and brother, Derek Lambert of Myth Vision, had an interview with Dennis MacDonald today, and I would like to share a clip concerning what I love the most, both about Derek Lambert of Myth Vision and Dennis R. MacDonald. So let's go to this clip, and then I will describe this book a little more on my own.
Whole thing, remember, this is a tool. This is a study guide, so to speak. But drop a comment on Amazon about how Dennis MacDonald's work has helped reshape or help form your thinking in studies of the Bible. That will help this book get more attention. Get you a copy right now, $30.94 on Amazon. And do they have an ebook version coming out, Dennis? Or
there will be an ebook version, but I'm told to wait until we get some other purchases and see what the market looks like. I do want to say one more thing about it, though, Derek. I feel so privileged in my long lifetime now to have spent so much time on what I consider to be one of the 2 corpora that are most important for shaping Western culture. That is Greek poetry and philosophy and the Gospels. And both of them have issued in so much art and music and liturgy and religion. And one of the things that I hope the book can do is to make people thrilled by the Greek literature as well as the Christian literature. This is not a Christian apologetic, but it's not a Greek apologetic either. It's trying to say that we have these 2 creative and imaginative corpora that have served the West so beautifully in shaping identity and art and music and so on, that I think your viewers are going to be wiser on both scores, not just on religion, but on art, on this poetry, which is so powerful.
I think you're right. And I think more people can respect the literature for what it is.
That's right.
Even if they're
and so I truly love Dr. MacDonald's humility and gratitude. And I love Derek Lambert's humility and gratitude and his drive to bring forth so much fantastic materials. And both Myth Vision and the Backyard Professor, we are going to pursue, we are going to share the abundance of wonderful knowledge that our dear friend and author, Dr. Dennis R. MacDonald, has spent a lifetime. He's got dozens of publications to his credit. This is a huge book. We are going to share the astonishing insights, the incredible connections with all of the Greco-Roman cultures in early Christianity, not just the ancient Jewish scriptures, but also the Greek epics. Euripides plays, Virgil, the Homeric epics, the Aeneid, the Bacchae, the Gospels and the Luke Acts, and several places in Paul show a demonstrable use and a mimetic imitation of so much more literature than we had ever supposed before Dr. MacDonald came onto the scene. Now, this book is huge. It's big. It's thick. It's 560 pages. It's in a 3-part section that he labels volumes 1, 2, and 3, discussing epic, tragedy, the synopsis of the 4 synoptic gospels with the mimetic aspects of it. It is absolutely staggering in its size. I will utilize it as my reference tool this year. I want to announce in this video what I'm going to do. The Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints are going to be as a whole studying the New Testament this year. And so what I desire to do in so many of my future recordings for 2023, I will have numerous scholars and preachers and PhD candidate students, professors, biblical scholars, archaeologists, historians, and linguists on my show. And I am going to share what I wanted in my Sunday school classes when I was trying to learn about the New Testament. I'm going to give you the Sunday school classes you wanted, but never got. I have purchased a few of the LDS scholarly materials on the New Testament. I looked through the Come Follow Me, and that is just too childish. It's childish. It's immature. It's embarrassing that the church wants its people to study that stuff, unless, of course, it is targeted for the children, but it's not. It's also targeted for the adults, and it's ludicrous. But I will confess to being surprised by the student manual for the New Testament. Now, this was the one 4 years ago. They don't have a new one this year, but it's a good one. It's the Religion 211 to 220, I do believe. And it's a good start. It's for the seminaries and the institutes, the church education system. It's a good start. It's not enough, but it's much better than I anticipated, which is a bonus. And then I do have a little bit of the LDS scholarly materials that I will utilize as well. James E. Talmadge's Jesus the Christ is always a good one to reference to. I will be referencing to a few LDS, but what I want to do is I'm going to actually bring in the scholars, or else I'm going to find the scholars on YouTube who are discussing the archaeology, who are discussing the Greek translation and the linguistics, and discussing the socio-political cultures. I want to give us a broader, deeper background and understanding of this incredible era that Jesus was born into and lived in, because it is one of the most fascinating areas. And I'm going to jump in this with both feet this year. I'm going to try like crazy to share with you as much knowledge as I can put together. And at the same time, I will also, of course, because it is basically a part of the repertoire, as it were, it is part of the baggage that comes with being a former apologist. I'm going to keep one eye on the apologists and what they're doing with all of the other aspects of Mormonism, because I'm aware that there are people in my audience who are Mormon. There are people in my audience, hundreds I'm aware of, who are in transition. They're PMO, physically in, mentally out, but they can't come out because of either family issues or they just don't feel like generating more heat than light in their neighborhoods, etc. It's all good. It doesn't matter. I'm going to try to give you materials to show you that it's not you who is at fault. We're already all aware that we're all sinners, etc. I don't let the church guiltify me into oblivion and actionless living, and always in that fear and worrying about, oh my gosh, I can't even think anymore. I've thrown all that noise out. Now I'm in the process of enlightenment. I am in the process of looking up and seeking the light through all avenues, through all voices. And this is what I'm going to offer you as a YouTube channel. Come with me on this fantastic journey. I promise you, you won't be disappointed. I'm going to produce some incredible materials. I will do comparison contrasts sometimes with LDS interpretations of Jesus or of the parables or whatever. I will bring in the archaeological material. I will bring in the scholarship on the linguistic level. I will bring it in on the historical level. I will bring it in on as many levels as I can. We will try to do some close good readings of the Greek New Testament and try to analyze it from that culture. We are going to recognize when the church attempts to Mormonize the biblical materials rather than let the biblical materials say what they say. And so I'm looking at this as a service with which I gratefully and I am happy to provide to help people sort through these sticky issues that they might be having mentally, spiritually, psychologically, that they have no one else to turn to. They have no one to talk to. I've been there. I get it. I know it's a tough area. It's scary. But I went to YouTube, and there are communities of people who will listen to you. We have those in our chat. We have those in this umbrella organization of Mormon Discussion Inc. So I would like to welcome all of the new members, and we have hundreds a week joining. Welcome. We do have various different programs and podcasts that emphasize different avenues of inquiry. Some of them are on the social problems of today. Others of us try to be a little bit more scholarly. Some of them attempt to describe and discuss the foibles of the Mormon leadership. Others attempt to show that, yes, there is this possible interpretation of the scripture and what it's supposed to do for you in your life, but there is another possible interpretation here that is even better. We don't seek to only tear down. Sometimes in a construction project, however, there is involved a tearing down of scaffolding in order to make way for a newer, stronger, better constructed building. That, I believe, would be a good metaphor for the work that we're trying to do. And it's a pleasant task. We all enjoy the jumping in, the camaraderie, the rubbing of shoulders together and learning together. Hey, what do you think this means? What do you think this means? Have you read this book? I will be doing book reviews on New Testament subjects. I have many, many wonderful scholars. I do have a major announcement this Thursday. December 22nd at noon, I am going to have the double PhD candidate Colby Townsend on live. Then we are going to do some pre-recordings. I also have scheduled Dr. Dennis R. MacDonald again on my show. I've had him once. He will be here on January 5th at 7 o'clock Mountain Time in the United States, 6 o'clock if you're on the East Coast. Or I mean the West Coast, the Pacific, 6 o'clock Pacific, 7 o'clock Rocky Mountain Time. And that'll be on January 5th. I have Travis Overly being scheduled for some other recordings as well. We will continue the Hermetic and the Kabbalistic look at what Joseph Smith was doing with the Mormon mysteries. What kind of a background was he involved in? Colby is going to be talking about the books of Enoch, the occult book of Enoch. That is the hidden book of Enoch. that Joseph Smith actually did have. And he has found some new research which outdates Hugh Nibley's contentions back in the 1980s and 90s. So there is a constant upbuilding, there is a constant updating, and this is what my channel is going to do. Focus more on the serious and the scholarly. We're going to have some fun. We're going to have lots of excellent instruction and information, and we always have fun in our chats. So this is what we're up to this year. So again, let me say sincerely, I cannot over-recommend this book. Anything by Dennis R. MacDonald, but this one especially, brand new out just last week. Get it now while it's $31. It will go back up. They're cutting a third of the price off for us for right now. Synopses of Epic, Tragedy, and the Gospels. Sensational material, which I will put into hundreds of my videos, along with I've got all of his other materials, the Gospels and Homer, Luke and Virgil, the Christianizing of Homer. Does the New Testament imitate Homer? And the shipwrecked Gospels, mythologizing Jesus, etc. We're going to bring together huge amounts of wonderful literature. So I'm going to bring in Thomas Brody, who has demonstrated, and Dale Allison Jr., actually, and David Litwa. I have wonderful biblical scholars, you guys, who are showing that not only just the Greek literatures, but the Jewish materials were definitely utilized by the authors of the Gospels and by Paul. And I'm going to show you why that matters. I'm going to show you the exciting world of the New Testament. And I'm going to bring forward the best materials I know how to grab. So I am looking forward to having you watch many of my videos. And as always, I'm looking very forward to you watching my live sessions as well. So stick around. There is a boatload of fantastic information coming down the pipeline.